Hello, everyone. I was asked by a longtime fan of the channel to review the new single Bronson from his band Geiger, that person being Macaulay. Thanks for tuning in for as long as you have. I'm not sure why you'd want to do this, considering I'm pretty much box office poison, and you know how critical I am, but I am going to be fair. I've been put in the scenario many times when friends have asked me how their bands are, and if I directly do not like it, I will at least get out of the scenario by telling them it sounds good if they have good sounding equipment. And so if you hear me say that ever, you know that I've kind of wriggled my way out of that situation. But I have heard this band's previous release, Submit to Reality, and I thought it was an interesting take on the stoner sludge type of genre, which I know is a ubiquitous blanket term now, but unfortunately, if you say that, you know exactly what you're going to be hearing. I myself was in a sludge band for many years, and we went on tour, and everywhere we played, there was always the same exact looking band playing the same exact sounding music. And you know, I get it. We all worship Sabbath to a degree, and if you start playing the right things that are going to make you think of that, you're going to have every asshole at the bar raise their beer at you. And you know, I understand that subculture. That being said, I do believe there are ways to elaborate on it, and not many bands seem to want to go that route. I would love to see someone, for instance, take up the mantle that happened on Confessor's Unraveled record. As many of you may know, Confessor was not a like a doomy, sludgy band, and they brought their own sense of very bizarre phrasing to that genre. And to date, I haven't really heard anything like it, and I think that record came out in about 2006. So anything that kind of plays it close to the chest within the genre, I have a hard time getting into. Something else that I would also point to would be something like Yob's The Illusion of Motion. I really like that record. That has its own take on it too, while still not betraying the tenets of what people like to hear within the genre. As for this particular single, I feel like the band is more trying to hit the notes of what people expect out of the genre and less of what the band was attempting on the previous release. And, you know, depending on what the goals of the band are, that's not inherently a bad thing if the songwriting works. And I think this song in particular is carried by the vocals, which to me isn't the death knell that a lot of people might think it is within the metal genre. I think you should use whatever you have at your disposal to get across a well put together thought, a well put together song and record. And the strength of this particular song is that it chooses to elaborate on very minimal themes. It doesn't want to bog down the song or the listener with a bunch of unrelated stuff, and it establishes a mood. And aside from one section where it kind of double times into a blast beat, it doesn't really betray that mood. And you know, that's a very difficult thing to do, to have restrained songwriting that still is able to captivate throughout. And that's the issue with this particular song, is that it's almost 7 minutes long, and it is very minimal, to the point where I do wish they had gone further. I wish that there was more things elaborated on. A key change might have brought in a little bit more of an emotional catharsis than how the song just kind of plays out towards the end. As I said, I think the vocals are very strong. I think the theme itself, the main motif of the song, is strong. I would have liked to have seen it's a pedal tone kind of riff. We've talked about pedal tone on this channel, and it is reliant on an open chug in between shifting notes, and you know that is going to anchor you in a key, and it's gonna, if you don't want to change those chugged notes, you're going to end up kind of giving listener fatigue. And if you're not, if your goal is to not elaborate on that, then I understand. You know, drone is a genre for a reason, but this particular song gets close to being something that is expressive but it pulls back on the reins and doesn't quite get to where I think they had more of a command of doing so on the Submit to Reality EP. I didn't dislike the song. It's not something I'm going to probably want to listen to again because it's completely cemented in my head based on the single listen. I do think that the recording is cool. I like that it's raw, and I like anything related to Bronson. But I would have preferred to see the band take steps forward from their trademark on the genre with the Submit to Reality instead of kind of shedding the layers that they had applied and going headfirst into what the genre kind of expects from the listener. So that's my thoughts on it. Macaulay, I do think you did a good job, but you can go further, and I welcome you to go further. I think that as I said, there are places the genre can go, and I do feel confident that you can do that in the future. So thanks for listening.